don't know.
Okay, welcome. This is Tom Ryan Remembers, either episode 58 or 59. I'm not sure which one. We're here on, let's see, this is the last day of March, March 30th, Julia's birthday, by the way, in 2023. Tom's 92 years old, and we are continuing on with the reprise and kind of update since 2 years ago that we listened to many of the other episodes of Tom Ryan Remembers. And
Mm,
today's topic is about moving, changing your own situation. Now, Tom has moved many different places. He's lived in Illinois and Colorado, and back in Illinois again, and each time with two or three different houses. Then he came out to Colorado and spent many years in Colorado here in two or three different living situations. Now, the last situation that he's moved into, the current situation, is at Good Samaritan, which is a retirement home, and he has been able to get himself set up and ready to go. But I think at the time it was a little bit difficult to decide to move in. So today we'd like to revisit that time when you were making the decision to move into Good Sam's, and what was going through your mind and through your body as well, and what was happening during that time.
we were getting older, but we still were traveling. We traveled all over the world, Barbara and I. We've been married for 25 years.
No. I don't remember.
I don't
14, 13 or 14.
13 or 14. Yeah. It's been wonderful. But we traveled, we went up down the Danube and the foreign countries and Mexico twice, and enjoyed traveling around the United States too. But after we got older, traveling was harder, and everything was getting harder to do. I lost my driver's license because I have macular degeneration, for which there's no cure, and it's doomed to get worse and worse until eventually you're blind. But hopefully it'll be slow, and I will still have some vision. Glasses don't help. So that was my loss of a driver's license, was the first. But Barbara drives well, and we have a nice car, and so we do take little trips, but not much farther out of Loveland. Barbara's gone on some trips because she's younger than I am. She's not an old lady. I'm an old man married to a young lady. So what trips have you gone on, Barbara?
Well, mostly family things. I went last year to California to a grandson's college graduation, and then I went to a family reunion of my birth family, the Koenigs. And this year I'm going to go to the 70th high school reunion in Chicago in May, but that's about it.
So when you guys got married, what is that, 9 years ago, something like that?
It was in 2009, so add it up, Kevin.
Oh, 12, yeah.
October
13,
2009.
Yeah.
Lots of years. Anyway, so you then Tom moved into 6th Street, right? And you guys lived together on 6th Street.
Yeah, that's when we were traveling a lot.
Uh-huh.
That's when we were traveling a lot when we lived there, yeah.
Right.
And
okay.
I sold my house on the bottom of Boyd Lake, beautiful view. And during those years we lived in it, from about 1990 to when we got married and I moved in with Barbara, we had a lot of our family living there and joining us. And Dan, our son, came up from Wheat Ridge and built a bathroom, shower, and a toilet in the downstairs, and we had a whole bedroom down there for whoever came. And Ginger and
Kid. Kid.
Ginger and Kit came and lived there for some time while they got settled in Loveland, and they still live here in Loveland. They have their own home, but they all lived there for a few months until they got settled. And so we made great use of that house, even though it was really too large for the two of us.
I know when we would come when the kids were little, we would come every summer and stay for 6 weeks up to 2 months every summer, and that's how the kids learned English. They were able to stay, and we stayed down in that bottom apartment, which or the basement, which was larger than our house in Tokyo. So,
Well,
in any
I
case, yeah. So you guys,
the girls
yes,
went out on this.
and then you moved into the 6th Street, and so you were there, and you were slowing down.
Okay,
Yes.
why don't you tell them about the movie we saw last night and the boys'
Right.
fear of whatever it was they were afraid of, and how older people get afraid of moving out of their house into a retirement home.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a perfect film. We have movie and a dinner and a movie. And in our big room, they set up tables and chairs. And we watched this movie on the big screen, and it happened to be Sandlot was the name of it. And you think, well, what did that have to do with us retired people? Well, we had to move out of homesteads often, where people had lived when they raised all their kids, and they expected to stay in that house the rest of their life. But it became harder and harder. And so some of them, now you called it an old folks home or something, or nursing home. The new name is continuing care community. The reason they have to keep changing the names is because the old names get a bad reputation. Like nursing home is no, there aren't any nursing homes anymore.
Skilled
They're
care
called
community.
Medical care.
Skilled care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so we have to have a new name, and that's an indication when you get new names. Is the old name was describing something bad, and people didn't want to get old. They did, it's not a fun thing to do, but it's better than the alternative.
Especially if you have a lot of stuff. And fortunately, when Tom moved out of the Hampstead house, he got rid of almost all of his stuff. He's not a saver, and he's good at giving away things and getting rid of things that he doesn't need anymore. So I had to still get rid of my stuff, but that was a really important part of moving, was to make it so that our children don't have to worry about getting rid of a lot of stuff. We do have some things, well, quite a bit actually, in this twin home that we live in, but it's not.
So I'm sorry, it looks like there we go. We had a bit of a blurb. So you were frozen for a short time, but
Well,
now you're okay.
And we're okay here at Good Samaritan. It's a wonderful place. And read a book called Being Mortal. It was a bestseller at the time, and we were considering all this.
Yuval Harari, I think, was his name. Yeah.
He's from India, but he grew up here, and he's on TV a lot. Bestseller. And he described all the troubles that people go through when they get old. Still a good book to read. But he described the continuing care community. So in a continuing care community, you can live independently the way we do right now, or you can go into assisted living. Now, what's assisted living? Well, they'll tie your shoes for you, polish your shoes, give you a shave, brush your teeth, but they won't give you any medicine. And that's very expensive to live that way, because they bring their food to you, and you don't usually get out of the part of it. But that's the old nursing home, I guess. And then now we have medical care, they call it.
Skilled care.
Skilled care.
Nursing.
And there you get nurses who can give you shots in the arm and a lot of other more complicated medical care. and that's really expensive. So they have put those three together in one place so that you can, like, if one of you ends up in the medical care unit, the other one can come over and visit from this twin home, and it's just a walk across the campus instead of trying to drive a car when you can't drive. So that's one of the first big advantages to a continuing care community. And I think,
Well, that's been around for a while. If I remember correctly, your father, when he came up from Florida and was in Schaumburg, they were at a facility much like that, where he gave them his house, and that was enough money, the money from his house sales. That was, and he had care until he died, and no matter what level it was. So he just paid once, and then they were just playing the numbers about how long he would be there, and they had the three levels. So it was he was in a room by himself, and then it was some care, and then they always said, "Oh, and then he goes over to the hospital," and that was kind of like the last step, usually.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually he didn't like it at the
Yeah.
nursing home or the
My
medical.
mother had the same thing in St. Louis, and she put down one sum of money. I think there's also a monthly fee involved
Mhm.
with that, but that took care of her the rest of her life. And she went from an apartment to a assisted living and then the nursing home.
So you guys, when you were deciding to come here, did you shop around? Did you kind of investigate what all these three steps were, and
Well, we
how was
read about them,
Mhm.
yes, but one of the big sales jobs was done by Dick Webster. He's a retired Presbyterian minister who happens to attend our church, Presbyterian Church. And so we knew him, and he moved here. And so did about, what, 7 or 8 couples from the church, all live here at Good Samaritan. And so they all raved about it and told us all the advantages. And so we were sold by our fellow church members.
Okay.
I think I don't think there's any better one in the country, but the biggest one is in Kansas, and it's
Knox Village.
John Knox Village. John Knox was a founder of what a denomination, Congregational Church in Scotland, and so they named it after him. But so once most of them, the Church of the Brethren had one in Ohio. They are started by churches. This one was started by Lutheran Church, but there's nothing Lutheran about it anymore. They have a chaplain, they call him, not even a pastor, and he puts on Sunday services for those who don't want to go outside the compound here and drive their cars. They can go, and he has a nice service. Barbara's played the organ and the piano for him, and I've attended with her. So he's a very helpful.
Was it hard to get in? Once you had decided, it took a while to get in, right? There's a waiting list, and
we were.
Yeah.
In,
did you guys ever consider any other options besides?
No,
we didn't really.
Not really. We in 2009 we were married, and in 2018. Now that's not long. I sold my house. Barbara sold her house, and we moved in here in 2018.
The procedure is to talk to one of their marketing specialists and sign up for $100. You sign up, and then you tell them what kind of facility you want. If we had gotten a twin home right at the first part, we would have had to wait for several years to get into a twin home. But to get into an apartment took us about 6 months to get to the top of the waiting list for an apartment. So we did that, and that put you up to the top of the list for a twin home.
Oh, I
So
see.
another
Okay.
6 months, we got our choice of the twin home. So in about a year, we went from the house on 6th Street to an apartment at Good Samaritan, and then this lovely twin home that we now have.
Hmm.
And the rent is about $3,000 a month. And then if you graduate into the assisted living, it jumps to $6,000 a month. And then if you get more care, it goes to $9,000 a month. And that can bankrupt even so it's very expensive getting old. It's
Yes.
no matter how you do it, it's expensive to get old. So you have to save while you're young, so you can have a nice care at a place like this. But it's not for poor people. We are all very high income. Almost everybody here has a college degree. Many of them are retired ministers from all different denominations, and we have
Teachers. We have a
teachers,
lot of
not
teachers.
very many teachers, so the teachers don't make enough money to afford this.
But if two of them were both teachers and they both have a pension, that's usually enough to
They can
to
make
live
it.
here.
The
So-
old style pensions, anyway, not
Yeah.
the new pensions.
Well,
But- yeah.
The nursing home especially is losing occupancy, especially since COVID hit, because nursing homes were breeding places for the COVID virus,
Mhm.
coronavirus. And so families would take their elderly parents out of the nursing homes. So some of them went broke during that time period. And Good Samaritan was fortunate to have enough outside resources from Sanford Company we're affiliated with a great big continuing care
Conglomerate, yeah.
conglomerate. That's a good word for it. So we were okay, and now the nursing home population is increasing. They want to have 80 to 90% occupancy, and I think they're close to that now. So, but it is so expensive that many people just can't afford it. And
Yes.
but if you
yes.
get in and you lose, if you get rid of all your wealth, they won't kick you out. They won't put you on the street. They'll put you on Medicaid, and that will pay for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So
The
So
average length of
they vet new people when they come in and make sure that they have a relatively good income from
I
their
think they
pensions,
do.
right? Yeah.
You're right. So
Well,
yes,
I remember, I think I commented last summer that the place you guys live in is like Disneyland for old people.
I
The
think
manicured
so.
lawns and the geese and the trains and the cafeteria and all of that stuff is really set up nicely so that and
Yes.
gosh, the furnishings and everything in the house, those are really well done. And so you're very, very comfortable, and which is really nice, and not available to most people, but you were able to plan ahead. I think I remember Dad saying many, many years ago that, and I'm not sure, I think he might have gotten it from somewhere else, but everyone ends up shitting the bed. It's just finding the right situation where you have someone to clean up after.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yes.
I know
Yes,
it's
That's kind of
kind
gross,
of
but
dark
that's
side of it,
accurate.
but
That's really
that was the
accurate.
economics consumer economics teacher speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't for getting old is not for sissies. And I'm so glad I'm here because not only did I lose my sight to macular degeneration and can't drive a car, I can't hear very well. And my father had the same two problems when he was 93 and died. he said, but he didn't have good hearing aids. I have a wonderful hearing aid that's a computer, and I can push buttons and make it change and do. It's all wireless, and it does wonderful things like modern cell phones do. And he didn't have that, and so at the end he would watch the Cubs game. He loved the Cubs on TV, and his eyes, he got closer and closer to the TV screen, which I think was 17 square inches. And then he had hearing aids, but they were old fashioned. They didn't work very well, and he had a hard time hearing the games anymore when he died.
Today, we went right here in the big building, in one of the meeting rooms, to a low vision and hard of hearing disabled resources meeting.
Oh.
And two people came and they showed us all kinds of equipment that you can use to enhance your hearing. And Tom already has quite a bit with his cell
yes.
phone connected to his hearing aids,
Mhm.
but we're having a problem with him right now. So the one of the people who came made an appointment with us for next Monday.
Oh,
And
nice.
she is going to make sure it's all working correctly, get us set up so he can hear the Libby books and Audible books from his cell phone directly to his hearing aids. And so we're going to get that all solved.
These help groups come to
Yeah.
us because there's so many of us, most of us pretty well off. And so they come here to us. We don't have to go and search for them. They come knocking at our door, and that was just one of them to aid us in functioning here. So we enjoy that. For example, during the pandemic, yeah, they would just line us up almost like we were in the Army. I remembered in the Army how they put a needle in my left and right arm almost simultaneously, and we were in line. But we'd ask the medics who were applying this stuff into our arm, "What is this for?" And they'd say, "Never mind, soldier, just move ahead." And we would, and then they gave us shots for every disease there was. It was very efficient, very fast, very cheap way to do it. And that's kind of the way they do it here. We would go down in our big room and have the clinics set up, and they do it in groups, and we didn't have to go outside the compound to get
nice.
our shots.
Yeah.
Very nice. So everything is like that. We get things that you wouldn't be able to get if you were on your own, living in a regular home, even right here in Loveland, Colorado.
It's like having car insurance, the added benefit of having a lawyer on your side when you get into an accident.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
There's somebody here to help, and we're here to help you, and they really do. And one of the mottos is, "Don't fall." So that we don't have a step ladder in our home. We don't have lawn mowers, or hedge trimmers, or we don't have to shovel our sidewalks. And so that's all taken, and the gardening and the beautiful flower gardens, we can just use them to walk through and enjoy, and we don't have to do the hard work connected with them.
And if I
Right.
can't drive someday, they have a transportation service that you can sign up for to
Yeah,
go to the doctor or go to the grocery store.
Uh-huh.
So that it makes you more mobile too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
they even have a little store here on campus, and Barbara volunteers at the store, and they have all these volunteers that they volunteer for all kinds of things here, and they usually are part of the auxiliary, which is auxiliary to the big people in the corporate offices.
Mhm.
And they make money in the store because everything is volunteered, all the work, and then they give them projects, like they have a model train display outside. They gave the model train club $7,000, and they went out and built a platform, and that you can come and watch the trains sitting down or standing up, and it's a very enjoyable, and it's a nice activity for the people who are in the club. And there are all kinds of clubs of that kind. The effort is to get you out of your house. Our twin home is the largest home that they offer, and it is what, 1,400 square feet,
1,600.
1,600 square feet of
Oh,
living space, and then it has a huge garage, which is for 2 cars, and then all kinds of storage on the side. And there's no basement, no steps to climb, no stairs to climb. And so that's one of the big advantages, so you won't fall. You don't have to climb stairs. And they work at that not falling with exercise classes. They're not called exercise classes. They're called balance 1, balance 2. And you go into the class that it helps you keep from falling. This is the main, because if you fall and especially hit your head, you're likely to be end up in the medical unit.
They
well,
actually
this
do.
sounds like we should get a sponsor for this video. Get Good Samson.
Yes, yeah, they have a team, 2 women that will take you in a golf cart and drive you all around the campus and show you all these facilities if you're interested in moving in. So we stay pretty full. There's very seldom an apartment or a senior living facility that's available for rent. Oh, and that's the other advantage, you're renting, so you don't have a mortgage, you don't have to mess with the sale of a house once you're fixed here. And we just did our income tax today, and we didn't have all the problems with owning a home that are connected with that, selling it
Mhm.
or any, because we sold both of our homes 5 years ago. And that's
Yes.
another advantage.
Mm.
And if
Simplicity.
anything breaks in the house, like your dishwasher doesn't work, you just call maintenance, and 2 guys are there within the day, and they'll find out what's wrong and fix it. And if they can't fix it, they hire a contractor that comes in and tears it all apart and fixes it, or decides it's not just too old to fix and puts a new one in. So you don't have to even worry about that sort of thing. Fixing things is pretty much beyond us. I can't see and I can't hear, and it's difficult to read the directions and all of that. So I think that's a wonderful part of living here, even if you don't get involved in all the activities.
So you have lots of time to do things that you like to do, but other time, and nothing that you don't want to do, you have to do. There's
No.
yeah. So that gives, so when you have time, let's see, I think what are some kind of things that you do during the day?
Well, we have dinner very often with friends in the dining room, and all they have to do is look at your name tag, and they know who to charge the meal to, and the meals run around $10 because it doesn't include the overhead of the building. That's paid for. Everybody pays for the dining room, whether they use it or not. So the dining room can have pretty low prices and have a decent dinner for $10. So some of the people in great old age, when they can't see and hear it all, they go to the dining room and eat their 3 meals a day or 2 meals, some of them. Yeah.
I'm in a book club, so once a month we have a book to read. One of the librarians from the local library comes and leads that. So that's one activity. What else do
You
we
go
do?
out, yeah, with people, friends and family and stuff like that. And you're still cooking a lot?
I do, but like Tom said, if I don't want to cook, we go to the dining room and eat. Tonight, I just threw a couple of pot pies in the oven before we started this, so that's
Uh-huh.
tonight's Friday night. We're going to a friend's house for dinner. We have a lot of activity with between what we do here and at church. We have activities involved there as well. Unfortunately, sometimes it involves caring for a sick friend. This was really sad this week. One of my really good friends, our really good friends, Karen Perrick, who plays oboe and I play the piano and we do duets together. She had a stroke and she's in the hospital, and a number of us are taking turns visiting her there and trying to figure out she doesn't live here. She lives in a home, and so that's going to be a problem for her because I don't think she's going to be able to go home without help. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so
that's
that
tough.
happens. This is the
Yeah.
end of life for all
Right.
of us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Have all
So
these friends and
I was going to say, and is there anything negative about living there? Is there any drawbacks?
It's expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
we pay about $3,000 a month in rent. Now,
Yeah.
that includes a lot more than just, a house
Right.
and the
Yeah. The
taxes on it.
maintenance and everything like that. Yeah.
Everything's
Expensive.
taken care of. And we, all kinds of activities, there's no charge for, except for the meals. We don't have to pay for most of the activities.
Yeah.
And they have meetings and talks and lectures.
A lot of exercises, more than just balance. They have yoga type classes.
Right.
They have
Yeah.
strength training. They have a whole gym where you can, go on the treadmill or bicycle. And there's a swimming pool. You can go swim, and there's a hot tub.
Wow.
So
Really? I
yeah,
didn't know that. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Kevin Cook, he comes once a month.
Mhm.
He's a local nature man who loves the outdoors, and he talks to us about nature and all the plants and
Uh-huh.
animals here in Colorado.
Wow.
So
Well, it sounds like
that's
you guys.
just an example.
It sounds like you guys have a really, really nice setup there. And
Sometimes we're so busy, we don't even have time for a nap.
Right. Yeah.
and that's the other thing. You can take a nap whenever you want. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. We do. But Barbara plays duet piano with one of the neighbors, and then they played for the church service on Sunday. But they have a talent show, and this lady that just had a stroke, she was the third member of their talent show team that play music. So that's another activity.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good place to wrap up here.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to say before we finish up about moving in and Good Sam's or just your life right now?
We're glad we moved here, and we don't want to leave.
Don't want to leave.
Right. Sounds like permanent vacation, right?
Yes, it's a built-in vacation. Now, we've had some trips. Kevin came from Japan and his brother from Wheat Ridge, Colorado, and they drove us on a long trip through Colorado last summer. So that was a great gift. But we don't expect that, and we don't do our own driving.
Right.
So,
yeah.
They have bus trips too here.
Activity.
We could go on and on. There's the end. Okay.
Right.
We can go
Okay.
gamble, Central City, and
We'll stop the recording here and then we'll decide what to do next time.
Okay.
Is recording. Let's see.